Hey Facebook. Hey guys. How are you doing? So I'm gonna wait until I'm really just sharing this across some other platforms that I really engage with. I'm a bit tired. I literally got home about an hour and a half ago. So I'm a little bit really under the weather. So please do help me by being patient with me today as I share with my network. So welcome, everybody who's going to join me here today. I know that some more people will be joining me shortly once I jump over my Facebook page. I wish some of you would start following my business page actually, because the reality is that I'm going to start doing more on my business page than I do on my regular page. Which is my friends page. I'm trying to migrate everybody over to my business page. I'm going to ask Facebook to probably see if I can close down my friendship page and just work from my business page. So hey everyone, welcome. I just saw an error on my post, but that's good too. That's okay. It's all great. Before I share it out, I'm going to share it again and make sure that I get you all covered. So for those of us who are just joining me, I'm Ava Eagle Brown, a life and business strategist. And right now I'm actually on holiday from the game of business and everything else. But I'm just really just jumping on here to kind of say hello. Can I just give you a little update of my present situation? And I realized that the T on my keyboard is not working, and that is not super duper cool. So let me just wait for some of you to join on. If you're joining on, please let me know who you are, where you're hailing from. First of all, I appreciate having you in my space. I really don't take it for granted. I appreciate, honor, love, really having you guys here. So don't you ever think I ever take it for granted when you choose to hop on and join me here, because you have many other places you could be this evening. So thank you for choosing to come and spend that time with me. A disclaimer, I'm not naked. I'm just literally out of the shower and I've got a dress on, and it's one of those that you wear around your house, and I'm just about to chill and unwind. As a matter of fact, I'm just about to prepare my presentation for tomorrow. As you can see from my heading, I'll be sharing the stage with Levi Roots. One of the reasons I'm back in London tonight. So guys, I just came back from the first leg of my holidays. It's not finished yet. This is just the first leg, and I had a lot of discoveries about myself. If you're joining me, just say who you are. It would be nice to know who's joining me so I can shout you out. I can say hello, and we can hang out together for the next 10-15 minutes. Carol, hi, thank you. Good to see you, honey. Great, you are in the place. Hi, Magdalena. I'm not naked, guys. I've got a dress on, so I just want to make that disclaimer. But I just really don't want to put on a lot of clothes. I want to just do this Facebook Live and go and chill because I've just come back from holiday. So welcome, everybody. I'm Ava Eagle Brown, and I'm a life and business strategist. I'm a mama, a friend, a sister. And when I say I'm a friend, some of you might have seen that I took some of my friends on a holiday with me, because that's the kind of girl I am. So Magdalena, who's on the call here, Audria, our kids, all hung out with me on my holiday. We all went on holiday together. And as God progresses my soul and my shift, some of my other friends will join me on a bigger holiday sometime to come. So that's how we're going to be rolling. So welcome. Thank you for the hearts. Share this with somebody. I have just come back to London tonight purely because tomorrow God has truly blessed me. So one of the things I can never do is to tell my story, to tell my progress, to tell the things I've achieved, and leave out God out of the equation, because on my own, Ava Eagle Brown could not do this, right? Can we just say God here if we're God people, and don't be afraid to shout it out? So I cannot take any glory for what I am getting, because I know that it's God's mercies, His grace, His love for me that has taken me this far. And so I have the privilege and honor of sharing the stage tomorrow with Levi Roots, something that, let me give you a little bit of story. A few years ago, I emailed Levi Roots, and I love telling these stories because I want to show you how far I've come. I want to show you how far I have grown. But I want to encourage you in sharing my own story, in sharing my own experiences, to encourage you to hang on, to encourage you to keep pressing, to not give up. A few years ago, I emailed Levi Roots' secretary, and the response I got wasn't great. You know how it goes. Sometimes we reach a particular place in our lives, and the gatekeepers we have, which are necessary, prevent other people from accessing us. And that's because that's what their job is. Their job is to prevent people from just accessing us. And I pray God that I never get to the place where I'm inaccessible, because that's something I wouldn't necessarily want. However, I can appreciate that if my movie comes out and stuff like that happen, then that might be the case, that I'm not as accessible as I am right now. But I would hope that when people come and interface with my business, Hi Proctor, that they'll be able to get a response in quick succession, right? So I reached out to Levi Roots a few years ago, and his PA kind of told me that, you're not at that place yet, right? And I get that, and I respect that. And probably she was right, because I don't believe that God puts you in a room or through a door that you're not meant to be in. But tomorrow, thanks be to God, hi Marcia, I'm on the same stage as Levi Roots. I didn't have to write to his PA. I didn't have to reach out to her. I didn't have to ask. And let me tell you something else. When she gave me the response she gave me, I didn't get upset. I didn't get angry, because I believe in the power of perfect timing. I believe in the power of God's grace. I believe that God has a season for you. And when God's season merges with your hard work, then the glory and the abundance comes down. And so tomorrow I'm sharing the stage with Levi Roots. And I didn't have to fight for it. I didn't have to email anybody for it. It came to me. It came to me. But let me tell you something. It didn't just come to me. It came to me because I continued to work despite the rejection. You probably have seen me shared the iceberg theory, that when people see you progressing, when people see you doing well, what they do not see is under the surface, the rejection. So I got rejected by Levi Roots PA a few years ago. The hardships, the tears, the sacrifices, the things you have to encounter under the surface that you do not share with people. Can you invite somebody, tag somebody who needs to hear this Facebook Live, share this on your page? What people don't see is all the things under the surface of my life that I don't share publicly. The rejection, because I get them. The no's, because I get them. The not yet, because I get them. You're not at that stage yet, because I get them. The tears, the loneliness. What you guys don't know is that I get very lonely. I get lonely relationally because I'm a single woman, but I also get lonely for family because I don't have any family here. You guys don't see that, right? You don't see under my surface. What you see is Ava speaking on stage with Levi, Ava going to dinner with this Hollywood person, Ava doing that bit. Let me encourage you today. For the person on here who needs to be encouraged, I want to encourage you that when you hear no, let no excite you. When you get rejected, let that excite you. Do not stop working because you got a no. Because that no is closer to a yes. That no should tell you you need to keep pushing, keep going. I've had so many no's on my journey. In the last 2 years, I've had so many no's. And some of those people that told me no then are telling me yes now. But it doesn't mean I stopped trying. So I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to share that with you because I believe that there's somebody on this replay, there's somebody on this live who needs to understand that your no right now doesn't mean a never. It means not now. You don't stop working. You don't stop toiling. You don't stop putting in the hard work, because every no is closer to a yes. Can somebody type that for me? Every no is closer to a yes. When I did sales, I learned that every time somebody told me no, it was closer to a yes. So can somebody type that for me very quickly? So welcome for those who are just joining me. My name is Dr. Ava Eagle Brown. I'm a life and business strategist. I'm also a book coach. And I've just come back from the first leg of my holiday because I leave again on Saturday morning, tomorrow night. to go to the second half of my holiday. And I want to share with you some things I learned about myself while I was on holiday. Some of them were quite shocking a bit. Some of them were lovely. And you might have seen on my Facebook page that I shared that I was on the phone to Natty Whaler this morning. For those of us who don't know who Natty Whaler is, thank you, Jacqueline. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you. For those who don't know who Natty Whaler is one of the Wailers from Bob Marley and the Wailers. And Natty is a very good personal friend of mine. If Magdalena is still here and Audria, they both talked to Natty Whaler this morning because that's how I roll. I share some things with my friends. And so we were on the phone to Natty Whaler this morning, and we're discussing some business. As you do when you're on holiday, you keep working, right? Because the work doesn't stop. And Natty Whaler and I could see we're talking. And yesterday I came back from my hotel room and got an email from Sharon Marley, who I happened to have done some work for 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I worked with Bob Marley's daughter, Sharon Marley. And I came back to those two emails. And I was able to talk to Bugle, who's another Jamaican singer. And we had lots of business discussion in the last couple of days. Because I did tell you I was going on a working holiday. And what I realized about myself, what I learned about myself, is that there's some relationships that I don't keep in touch with all the time. But when I reconnect with them, they are just as we spoke on it yesterday. And that is because I had made sure that when I invested in those relationships, for example, my relationship with Sharon Marley, I've not spoken to Sharon in 17 years. I've not spoken to Sharon Marley in 17 years. And yesterday I picked up the phone. I called Bob Marley's museum. I left a message for Sharon Marley. I left my email address. And within 2 or 3 hours, she sent me an email. And in the email, she said something like, surely this brought a smile to my face. And the reality is, if I wasn't decent with Sharon Marley, if my relationship with her wasn't good, 17 years later, she would not be able to respond within 3 or 4 hours of hearing that I was trying to get her. But then also said it was such a pleasure to hear from me, and our business discussions go on. So what is the lesson in that? Cherish your relationships. Do not burn your bridges if you don't have to. I want somebody to type these things for me because they're really, really important. Because right now I need Sharon Marley. Right now I need Natty Whaler. And I can reach out to them to ask them favors. I reached out to Natty this morning. I called him. I said, Natty, I need a favor. And he said, what you need, name it. And he was able to grant me the favor that I needed. What am I trying to teach you? Cherish your relationships. Do not burn the bridges if you don't have to. End on good terms. And when you need a favor, the investment you made 10, 15, 20 years ago will come back to be there for you. Cherish your relationships. Don't burn your bridges. And every relationship is like a bank account. You have to deposit to withdraw. So I deposited in Sharon Marley relationship that we had, and I was able to withdraw yesterday. And I deposited in Natty Whaler's relationship, and I was able to withdraw today. So I learned that about myself. I also learned something that really freaks me out because, I learned that I don't like crowds, right? And for some of you, that might be a little bit like, really? I don't like crowds. I learned that about myself this week, being on holiday. I don't like big cities. I don't like crowds. And because of what I do, that's crazy, right? But I learned that I don't like crowds. I learned that I like a quiet little village. And so I can see myself living in a quiet village. I can see myself living in a very tiny village where everybody knows everybody and there's no fuss. I learned that about myself this holiday. I loved where I was. It was quiet. It was very peaceful. I wasn't bumping into anybody, and I loved that. I came back to London today, and as I landed, as I came back to Victoria, I was bumping into everybody, and I genuinely felt frustrated. So I learned that about myself. I also learned that I'm a little bit of an introvert. which really surprised me because, so let me tell you what happened. So there were times when, and probably introvert is probably not the right word. So I was in a, we were all in this, in our space together. But I learned that because I live with my son and my daughter alone, I realized that because I'm not used to having a lot of people around me in that kind of living environment, I learned that I got so used to just me and my daughter and my son that bigger crowds made me kind of pull back, which is dangerous. Because what if I got married? What if my husband had children? And so I learned that about myself, that I can be a little bit of an introvert. Although I'm very public and out there, I'm a little bit introverted, which is something I need to look into and work into. I also learned that I desire to live where I have a lot of land to do some farming. I learned that about myself being away. I learned being away that I am actually somebody who desires to have my family around. So I learned more that I don't just want my mom to be here. I want to be somewhere where I have my sisters, my brothers around me. I also learned that I'm a workaholic. So even when I was on holiday, I had a client yesterday who I had to coach her. My clients were texting me all the time, and I didn't have the discipline to not respond to them. And that is something that, thank you, Jacqueline, there you are. And that is something I have to fix, because my holiday got disrupted by ping, ping, Ava this, Ava that, Ava what, and I cannot. I did not know how to switch off from my clients. So those are things I need to work on, because those things I need to seriously fix. So I learned about relationships. I learned about my introvertiveness, although I'm a public person. I learned about my desire to live on a farm. I learned about missing my family a lot, and I learned about being lonely. So when I was away, I was saying to my friends that, I want to get married again. I don't want to be single for I don't want to be single. I want to be married, but it has to be the right person. And I realized I desire a companion, like I really do. So what do you learn about yourself when you go on holiday? Do you actually spend time, hi Norma, to get to learn about yourself? And one of the things that my friends learned about me, so Audrey and Magda, so we went to one of my producers' home for dinner, one of my producers for the Mango Girls. So we were in his house for dinner, and he invited around another friend of his from Hollywood. And also his wife is an actress. So his wife is an actress. She acts on soap operas and she acts in movies and all kind of things. And so we're all there having dinner. And my producer brought us his two BAFTAs. And you can see on my Facebook page, Audrey was holding the BAFTAs in her hands. And my friend said to me that I'm actually, and I didn't say that, they learned on this trip that I actually hide how connected I am. Not hide. I don't brag about how connected I am as I could have. And I said to them, why do I need to do that? Because first of all, there are things I don't share on Facebook, especially as it relates to the movie. I don't share a lot of things anymore on Facebook about that as I progress. But they realize that I'm more connected to some great people, some very important people, more than I speak about. And so they were in my space this weekend, and this weekend they got to speak to some of my friends and some of the people I'm doing business with, and they got to see some of my business meetings, and they got to see the kind of people, the caliber of people I'm hanging out with. And they were like, girl, you are quite humble, because if it was some other people, the whole world would know who they're hanging out with. And I don't need to list that, because I believe that some things are private, but I really hang out with some amazing people. And I don't share that publicly, because I don't need to, because I'm just humbling my space and thankful. But I'm also aware that not everybody can handle your success. So I keep a lot of things private. But yeah, we had dinner yesterday at some of our Hollywood stars' home. It was really nice. They actually cooked for us, and it was just humbling to sit with them, have dinner. We were among actresses and BAFTA winners and producers and designers for sets. People, one of the producer, his son has done one of the directors for Star Wars. And it was just a nice feeling to be hanging out with these people, and just to see how, for me, they were very humble people who have worked with Friends. You know, some of the guys on Friends, they've worked with people on Friends, and they've worked with people on Star Wars, and they've worked on BBC dramas, and they've got in their house, they've got all kind of hangings from movies, and they were simple, humble people. They invited us into their homes. They were my friends, and they were simple and they were humble. And I learned that yesterday. It was reinforced for me that no matter where you climb, humility is key. No matter where you climb, no matter how important you are, the world doesn't need to know when you walk into a room that I'm John, I've got an Oscar, I've got a BAFTA. I didn't even know they had BAFTAs. I can't even tell you. We found out by accident. And it was when we sat down yesterday to speak about some of their work and what they did that I realized how humble they are. Let me tell you something before I go. Humility, my mother always told me that humility is strength. And when you see me share on Facebook, I want to just remind you, I'm never sharing to brag or to boast. There are some stuff I don't share, and if I share them, they'll blow your minds. But when I share, I'm sharing to encourage somebody who is feeling that they're on my kind of journey and they cannot make it. When I share, I'm sharing to coach you, because I'm a coach, right? I'm sharing to show you what my capabilities are. Let's not get that twisted. But more importantly, I'm sharing to empower you, to show you the possibilities that if you're on a similar journey, such as myself, that you too can make it. Hi, Mia. That you too can succeed. And so never misunderstand my representation of my share. So I bid you farewell. If you haven't got your ticket for Caribbean Food Week, please come and join me. I don't know if you're on my email list, but if you're on my email list, you would have noticed that I'm doing a free event that I'm paying for, all expenses paid by myself. And that is my thank you for being in my space. It's called Ignite. It's happening on the 11th of November. It's going to be at the Jury's Inn Hotel. So if you need to get a ticket, check my Facebook page or my Facebook group. It's free. It's a free event that I am paying for to invite you to. If you live in the London area and I don't know how many tickets have gone. I've just put up the event yesterday. And let me just have a look so I can tell you how many tickets have gone already. I haven't checked it today. But it's going to hold 150 people. And I can tell you right now that I put this event up last night and 32 tickets have gone. So we have 120 tickets left. And I encourage you to get a ticket and come. Ignite is going to be about literally speakers sharing their stories of how they've gone through something, come under something, come out of something, and that they are now standing, but they're going to share with you what are some of the strategies, what did they use to get out of their stuff. And I'm going to be sharing, I'm hosting that event. I've just put the link here. Have a click. Invite somebody, share it with somebody. It may not be for you. It may be for somebody else who needs to be ignited. But it's the 11th of November, just before I fly to South Africa, because the following weekend I'm in South Africa speaking. But I'm paying for that event. You're not paying any ticket to come in. It's free of charge. The expenses paid by me. It's my way to say thank you. Come and let me help empower you for 2018. Come and let me give back to you, pour into you with my speakers and entertainers who are coming to pour into your soul, pour into your being, ignite your fire, help you to release your abundance so that 2018 is an amazing year. So if you're in my area and if you want to come out and meet me for the first time, then the 11th of November is a chance, but also tomorrow is an opportunity to do so. So click the button, grab your tickets. See you tomorrow. See you next week. See you next week. See you next week. And if you're not in my Facebook group, come and join me. It's called Awakening Your Books, Life and Business. I can't wait to serve you. If you want my services, I'm a life and business strategist. I'm a speaker, and I would love to help you on your journey. But until later, I'm Dr. Ava Eagle Brown saying, I learned these things about myself on holiday. I don't know what you learn about yourself, but I am always growing. I'm always evolving. I'm so freaking imperfect, but I work on me every day. And if I share on Facebook, it's never to brag. It's never to boast. but to empower you to keep pushing forward, to keep pushing one last time, to keep pushing through the birth canal, and to dump your mind's trash and replace it with possibilities. Have a great day. I'm your sister in purpose. I see you whenever I see you, whether it's on Facebook, in person. Remember, peace, love, and abundance is yours always. And I can't wait to serve you. Have a good evening. Good night. Bye-bye.